Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eve Echoes. Happy birthday to you.
Hey guys, it's just me, Ashib, wishing you all a great third anniversary. These 3 years have been hard on many of us, but we get nothing if we give up. Let's hope this next year will be a year of improvement, rearrangement, and development within Eve Echoes. Take care guys, and I hope I see you all in space, as usual. And I see you guys again.
3 years of my life down the drain. Wouldn't have it any other way. Happy 3 years, Eve Echoes.
Happy birthday there, Eve Echoes. We gonna get some good shit this year? I'm talking about the sort by value, ship naming, containers, more PvE rats in the belts. Yeah, let's get all that done.
Hallo an alle Piloten da draußen, ich bin Blomandela von Me Deep in Space. Wir wünschen allen alles Gute zum 3-jährigen Jubiläum von Eve Echoes und weitere turbulente Jahre gemeinsam, egal auf welche Seite ihr fliegt.
Hi everybody, I just wanted to say congratulations to NetEase on the 3rd anniversary of Eve Echoes. This game has brought me countless hours of enjoyment, unlike that bitch whore pig. Even better, I can sleep at night knowing all the money I spent on this game won't ever get into that worthless future side of Bacon's hands. The debt collectors, they're another story. Anyway, happy anniversary, Eve Echoes!
Hello, Echoes of New Eden. This is Phil Sharon from Pandemic, wishing Eve Echoes a happy 3rd birthday. As always, be humble, stay classy, and good hunting.
Happy birthday to Eve Echoes. It's been 3 amazing years within this community, and I hope we get 3 more. Happy birthday to the most expensive mobile game I've ever seen in existence. Eve Echoes.
And welcome everybody to Echoes of New Eden podcast. Yes, for another week. And yeah, happy birthday, Eve Echoes. We are celebrating the 3rd birthday today. So just so happened to land on podcast night, of course. And yeah, we are thankful to had celebrated this tonight with you guys. And Cleo is in there. Yes, Cleo did, or she did one of the birthday songs in the beginning there, so she sent that to me a little bit late, but we got it in there. And I'm more on point for EE's birthday than NetEase is. You know, that is quite true, actually. NetEase didn't even put out a happy birthday like announcement or anything today, but again, it is the weekend. Maybe they'll do something today since they'll be waking up here soon and getting into the office, so yeah, maybe we'll see something about that. We shall see. But anyway, no Taylor as of now, though I am accompanied by OC Can't Stop. So how's it going, OC?
It's been pretty well. Super enjoyed that segment, except especially the end of it, saying this is the most expensive mobile game the person's played.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, and I appreciate everybody that had sent me those clips. I had spammed a bunch of servers, and those are just the ones that I got. I did get quite a few in text. I was like, no, I want you to actually say it. So obviously, because I have some sort of project in the making, right, for it. So that's what I wanted to do. So I took out all my audio clips and put it into that song. So yeah, it's all right. I know some people were just doing voice messages through Discord. That works. That's kind of what I was expecting anyway. They didn't need professional equipment or anything, and it's supposed to sound amateur, right? So it's not like we're a super big podcast or anything. So I'm totally fine with anything that anybody gives me as far as audio content. So with that being said, happy birthday. We're going to go into the latest and greatest with anything game news and the announcements and such. And this last week, they info bombed us with the release of the Cobalt Edge and more info of the Wormholes. So we go we'll talk about all that type of stuff. And I got to click off the conspiracy map. I was still clicked onto that. I was reading that for a second. Then the voyage ceremony, the corpse were chosen. So we'll talk about that. The suggestions recently. And this is something that I've been wanting to cover in episodes in the past, was the suggestions channel on the official EE Discord. And kind of, go over some of the questions and actually contemplate whether or not that's a good idea. Now, I had some suggestions this last week that had made the waves, and so we'll discuss them. Okay, we'll discuss them. And then, since I happen to have the lead Diplo for Pravi as a co-host today, I was going to bring up something about Burr and Pravi as to what's all going on with that whole situation. Is there anything going on there, OC, or is it just clowning around?
Okay, so I'll just tell you guys what I know. So when Burr first came down, I think we had like a quick Diplo conversation with Doro, and he mentioned that it was, content was the focus, but I think that first interaction of the Shield, not much stuff happened there. Everyone saw the kill mails or when they were like moving caps around Pravi, and some of their dreads got caught. But there was a lot of banter on the gates, and usually when you start bringing up, structure warfare and stuff, Pravi is really not a fan of that. So, my understanding is other regions, when you hit structures, it means let's have a fight. In Pravi, if you hit structures, to us it means let's not have a fight. So a lot of us came, and then a fight didn't happen. That's really the short of it.
Yeah, I just been seeing a lot of kill mails coming from Pravi toward Burr. Like, what the heck are they doing down there? Type of thing. I have to educate myself more onto that whole thing. I know I haven't really asked much of you. I did post in our staff chat I did kind of ask what's going on, and I was posting the kill mails of all the dreads that they had lost. And good job to OS for cleaning them up, I guess.
Well, I mean, so that was, I don't know, that was a really cool moment coalition-wise, because so OS happened to get the dread kills, but man, that was coalition carried, right? They started in what we would call like North Providence, which that's by like Asa, KBP Gate, and like SRN, and a lot of the other alliances like Nova. They had Dictor Bubbles and Tackle following them for quite some time before we got there, right? So when we got the call, we bombed. But yeah, it definitely wasn't one corp that did that. It really was a group of them and a very large coalition fleet chasing them with throwaway ships. So yeah, it was. Nice. I don't know. It was a lot of fun, and I think they were pretty cool about it. We didn't really get a lot of hate or anything about that. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not surprising Burr's going after the end boss. So kudos to them.
Tassador has given us another nickname, the Bermuda Triangle, which for the last week at least it's been true. Sometimes it's true, but it's our own ships. But you can't win them all, right? So
yeah, good deal. And so with that, then I suppose the highlight of the show is I had an interview with the community manager Carrey, and I'd actually sat down. We had to pre-record it because of time zone difference, and actually she's just now getting into work as we go live, and so she's not actually able to attend the show live, or at least she can't talk. I did tell her ways that people listen to the show, and one being, they use earbuds or whatever while they work. That is something that she could do if she does decide to join. She knows that we're on air right now, so if she does pop in, then say hi, right? So, but I do have a conversation, and I got it broken up into segments, and we'll talk about all that stuff here probably after the commercial break. And that conversation, granted, edited down, is about a half hour long. So stay tuned for that afterwards. A lot of good information in there, and actually it was a really good conversation overall. I was super happy to actually sit down and talk with her one-on-one, and it was just great. So for the first time in podcast history, I was able to get someone from that team, the NetEase team, either the dev team or community manager, if you consider her a part of the dev team, on the show. So super excited. You'll hear all about that later in the episode. So good deal. I can't wait for you guys to hear that. And so with all that, we will get into the breaking news. And what the heck is going on? Taylor, where are you? Taylor, where are you? Taylor was supposed to be making it tonight. He said some things were coming up. He hasn't answered any of the pings or anything. So yeah, breaking news. Taylor falls asleep ratting in a knit again. That's where he is.
I could be wrong, but I think, isn't he actually traveling to the Nettie's offices right now to live stream it for us for the show? Is that not, or is that next week? Or
yeah, he's in Typhoon Almadera, and they have heard, of course they have over 100-mile-an-hour winds out there. He's going to get us live coverage from Hong Kong out there. So good on to him, and I hope he's safe in doing so. So we'll get on with the latest game announcements on the official Eve Echoes Discord. And of course, we've said it in the past. I remember Taylor and I joking about this. Literally, we have an episode, and hours later, a giant, announcement comes out. Like last week, we have our show, and then the following day, some hours later, look at this. Pilots accidentally encountered a mysterious star region, Cobalt Edge. This area is home to endless, fascinating minerals and terrifying monsters, making it a place where mystery and challenge coexist. Let's embark on this grand exploration journey on August 16th. And they included this graphic, and people were parsing up the graphic. We'll talk about that here in a second, but they drop the info for a new region right after we have a podcast episode. And of course, other content creators were covering that info and stuff like that. And I'm like, dang it, I wanted to be first. Not really, but I wanted to talk about it really bad, but we really wait until, the podcast goes live before we actually do. Unless Taylor starts making shorts again. But anyway, they release this region, and they give us a date, August 16th. So as of today, that's in 3 days.
Hype.
So yeah, like holy crap. That's actually sooner than what I anticipated, because when I heard about a new region coming, I was actually aiming more toward the end of the month when kind of all the event stuff is happening. That's kind of what I was expecting. They wanted big content then. Maybe we will see more content then. But they're releasing this on the 16th. And so we get this graphic too, and the graphic looks pretty dang cool. It's got some sort of, appears to be Triglavian mothership on the top, and it's releasing all its drones and stuff. And one of the first things that I noticed in this graphic was toward the back, there's a Titan in the back on the right side. And so who knows when we're going to see those, though we do know that they're coming in the game. Rumor has it that they've been delayed, so we may not see them on this 3rd anniversary update. My guess is probably not. So it's in the graphic, though. Cool. It kind of appears like it's in front of the Citadel, which I find odd. It looks far away, but it's really closer than it's supposed to be.
Man, that's one of those things that you could spend a lot of time on, right? It's like, is that a graphical error, or are they just really that massive? And is that a T4 set? Is it supposed to be the T5 scaling, right? Like,
Yeah. Good question. It looks like a T4. I couldn't tell you what a T5 looks like, honestly, though. I just don't know. So, good deal with that. We'll talk more about Cobalt Edge and the upcoming stuff just in a bit here, because I'm just going to go down the announcements as they were announced in order, I guess you could say. And so their next topic here was about the Voyage ceremony. So the corporation finalists list had come out, and they are excited to announce the corporation finalists of the Voyage ceremony 2023. Corporations that didn't get selected will receive a full refund of their AUR and can claim the additional rewards on the event page. Thank you all for your enthusiastic participation. So they gave a link of their ceremony, and that's got a countdown on it that you can literally you could watch a countdown, but ain't nothing there just yet. But they released the graphics of the corporation finalists, and I don't think that these are in any order. If they are in an order, I think it would be possibly parade order.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It should be the appearance. It should be the appearance order like last time. So when you see the first one in game, I don't know what that is representative of. It might be the way they pulled, but I think when you see the final list, that's the parade order. I think that's what it was last time as well.
Yep.
Although I think we had another. I think we got 36 corps this time, and last time it was 50.
Shoot, I don't remember if last time was 50. Honestly, I don't know. But just clicking here, naming off a few: Os, Cerebius Echo, Starcats, Spanish Inquisition, Free Deep Space, Reapers, Exiles of the Phoenix, Ghost Legion. So I know a lot of these corp tickers. Sons of Anarchy, Primary Orden, White Geese, Dark Skull Abyss, Cat Skull Cartel, Genesis, Cosmic Anomalies, Koreans, Ultrads, Allied Terran Ore Miners, Brave Newbies, Death Before Dishonor, Necromongers, Empire, Kings, Garden of New Eden, Trig, Escalated, Phoenix, Shadow Club, Custodia Noir, Shin Gaming. There's a few Chinese names in there as well that I have no idea how to read. So that's kind of one thing that I've been interested in doing lately is learning how to read Chinese, at least, you know. Maybe not speak it just yet, but at least read it. I think that'd be quite fun.
Well, yeah, that is interesting. Especially, I think, you know, while being in this game, it's a good opportunity too. It's not a you have to, it's you get to kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, and then moving on to the Cobalt Edge exploration log. The Concorde and the Adventurer have completed the preliminary exploration of Cobalt Edge, and the Adventurer is ready to share his exploration log with all pilots. Now let's take a look at the adventure discovered on the first day of entering Cobalt Edge. Note, there will be new exploration log updates in the coming days, so stay tuned. So we know about this. There's 3. So for 3 days, they're going to release 3 corporation logs. Okay, so here's the first one. They provided a graphic of it for day 1. The Cobalt Edge comprises of 69 star systems spread across 10 constellations, all with security levels below 0. The logistics supply station has also been established on Planet 6 of the E-TAC BYOS system. Pilots in New Eden must rely on unstable wormholes and long-distance cloning to travel to the Cobalt Edge. These wormholes are found in low-sec regions, and within the Cobalt Edge, all ships, including supercarriers, can access these wormholes. So let's break this down a little bit. In the last week, or probably in the last 2 weeks, we've been discussing rumors about wormholes, some leaked content and all that type of stuff. Been seeing this stuff. Now they confirmed a few things, right? So we get 69 star systems. There's 10 constellations. We do know of one NPC station that's going to be in Cobalt Edge. They have to rely...
With services also.
Services?
Like they're gonna have market, they're gonna have market services and stuff. So I only bring that up because, for a long time they really haven't given haulers a chance, right? Like they started the game with those skills and that gameplay loop that's never really been great. Whereas here, depending on how the jumping between systems works, like this could be a really big opportunity for emerging gameplay with haulers. Which that's not everyone's into it, but that's cool for the folks that like doing that.
Right. Yeah. So that's just another thing that offers players something to do. They have, so this was a big one that I think a lot of people were tossing out. And, I had heard this and I'd kind of hinted it in some other people's content or whoever else I was talking to. But we knew that wormholes were going to be implemented into the game. It was a matter of when, right? So with the Cobalt Edge opening, then obviously wormholes are going to get implemented into the game this week. So we'll be seeing those. But in order to get to Cobalt Edge, they don't have normal gates that go into that region. You have to actually go through an unstable wormhole to be able to get into that region. And of course, those spawn in low sec. That's news to us. I'm not really educated on EO wormholes as to how they work, though I do see people making comparisons, and I do see people, I don't know, I guess you could say getting butthurt about it. I had zero expectations of how they were going to implement these things, you know, based off of rumors. I kind of figured that they were going to do this, though this confirms it. I'm excited that they're even adding the content. Honestly, they could always choose to not and delay it until, you know, another year or whatever, but they are actually improving the game or improving gameplay or adding more gameplay aspects to players by adding these. Is it what a lot of people want? I don't know. That I guess that's an opinion type thing, right? So,
I mean, but I think that what you said is roughly the outlook I choose to have on it, right? It's like, you know, man, people have been saying, I mean, they do this in every MMO, you know, dead game for like 2 years. Well, you know, generally speaking, no matter how much you think this differs from what the wormholes are in EVE, you generally don't add new regions and new content on this order if you're going to shut down the game the next month. So I choose to view that as a positive sign, right? And, you know, if there was any criticism I would have for NetEase is going back to the whole setting expectations thing, right? You know, I know they want to build hype and they want to release info over time and say, hey guys, here's a nugget. But I wouldn't have said to a group of possibly EO veterans among them that are the verbal minority in the player base and just say wormholes, because then people are going to Google or they played with them before, right? So now they have that expectation.
Yeah.
I think, you know, leading with more info might be good just to set that expectation as, hey man, it may not be that, but you get something new, it's going to be more PvP, it's going to be more destruction, we hope.
Yeah. And I'd like to repeat the fact that this is not EVE Online. This is not EVE Online. Yes. I know it's big news.
Okay, I mean, listen, first of all, you literally don't pay my sub, and you're literally not my dad. How dare you? Literally, how dare you?
No soup for you. This is not EVE Online. I can't say it in any more plain English than that. So I do know of some other content creators that have been making content of their frustrations, I guess you could say, about it. So without going further into that, but anyway, low sec regions, you'll be able to. There's going to be like a menu that you'll be able to click on, and I believe it does a scan of New Eden, and it'll show you a wormhole, like similar to like Sinos. You can actually see where a Sino's been lit. I believe it's going to be something like that. When a wormhole opens, you'll be able to see it on the map as a filter or something.
That would be amazing.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how you're going to be able to find them, unless they do have some sort of say blue scanner type of thing, which granted, people are going to be pissed off at that. Why is it on the New Eden map? We should be able to find it, like we have to find exploration sites and blah 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 blah. That's a good point. I don't know why they decided to, if they do, add it to the greater map. Honestly, if it was just a blue scan, you know, exploration site, and it's like, oh, this is actually a wormhole gate, I would have been fine with that too. Honestly, you know, it is what it is.
I could see it either way. I don't know if there's a better way to do it. I think it depends on what you want to focus on, right? You know, if you want the majority of the content and the fighting and the competition to be over there, then it makes sense for it to be, you know, democratized as much as possible. If you want to breathe life into low sec and allow people to sell bookmark, you know what I mean? Like create a little sub way for you to earn, you know, I could see them not doing that, but
yeah,
I think Cobalt's probably got to be the focus at the expense of low sec there.
And I see now Taylor is in the Rick. Taylor's in the Rick.
Taylor's in the rig. Hey,
Taylor's in the Rick. He's in the house.
I finally made it. Sorry. So here's my take on and I haven't heard anything up to this point, so sorry if I'm going to repeat things, but here's my take so far on what I've heard about and seen so far with the Cobalt Edge release. They've already made two very major mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah, no apologies for the pings, it's fine. The first major mistake is you can jump clone in and out of these things.
Yeah, hadn't got to that.
That's mistake
yet.
Number one. Yeah, so that's mistake number one, which is what they released this morning. That's ridiculous. So I think that kind of ruins somewhat of the experience of it, right? It's supposed to be an exclusive area that's difficult to get to, that's difficult to defend, that's all these things, and at least that's what it should be in my mind. Now, obviously, it's not what they want because they didn't design it that way. But what can you do? So that's mistake number one. Is the ability to jump clone once you've got and they put an NPC station in it. That's the second mistake. There's one NPC. Apparently, there's one. Maybe there's more, but they specifically stated there's at least one.
Mm-hmm.
Now that'll be interesting in terms of the PvP content around that. But
yeah, from what I heard, it's going to be constantly camped, which I guess.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, sure. It's going to be the flavor of the month. It's going to be the hottest place in the month. It's going to, I would say more people will be there than Jita, but a lot of people are going to be wanting to explore the new content when it releases, and where else to go than the NPC station and set a clone or set a base or whatever. And
well, that's what I mean. Now that there's an NPC there, you can set a base and now you can jump clone to it. That's too fucking easy.
I'm not sure that one you can jump clone to, though. I think you have to have the Corpse Sov one to be able to do that.
You can,
like that initial one, right? Like I think the goal there was to kind of have a semi, Pakvan type space, because like if it's too hardcore, and I'm not, this is me looking at you, Bradrick. If it's too hardcore, the not that I'm disagreeing with what you're saying, just offering a different perspective. If it's too hardcore, the problem is you're going to have less folks there, and if there's less attention there, it might be easier to turn it into a rental space and have even less PvP. That's not me. I don't work for NetEase, but that might be one reason they took that approach, is just let's get more chaos in there and whatnot. But the jump clone thing, yeah, I agree. I think that there should be significant logistical difficulties coordinating between, I'm using quotes, wormhole space and non-wormhole space. And I think that undercuts that opportunity they had.
So, Slippy, I'm going to agree to disagree. You said jump clones just ensures more conflict over the space. And on one hand, I guess that's somewhat correct, but I disagree from the standpoint of you need to have this constant trying to find those locations, getting into it in low sec. I kind of agree with putting the gates only in low sec, right? I was making jokes in this content creator chat today about hashtag make low sec great again. But that, of course, was before Rambo torched Vetemune. But anyway,
wow.
So, which I had done previously. But we've both been torching Vetemune. It's amazing how him and Benzie think the exact same. The void brain mind is just insane. Anyway, so no, what I was saying is, I'd rather have that conflict be over trying to get in and trying to get out in those low sec regions, more so than just. Well, it's going to be constant camping at one NPC station in Cobalt, right? So
yeah,
that's my two thoughts.
Well, I was thinking about the jump clone thing, and I was also thinking, well, you still have to move ships there. How are you going to be able to get ships there? But then I just realized that you could DR fraud. So people are going to be able to move ships right straight into that NPC station as soon as they dock and set their base. And, right. They use DR fraud, and they could bring any ships that they want in numbers, actually. If I wanted to move 5 battleships and pay the IP for it, I could do it right away. I could dock in there with an interceptor, could get past whoever's camping it with a bubble.
Really hope they address that.
Yeah, and set up my squad, I guess you could say, to be able to roam that content or do PvP. So it's going to be the hottest system in space for PvP for probably the next coming weeks. So, but there's still 68 other systems that you'll have to wormhole to explore as well. So, we know about some of the content. Let me go back to the announcements, because I went back to the Discord here to clear up a ping, and then that's when I noticed Taylor was in the audience. So, so with that, of course, they're including all tonnages, including super carriers. So that's going to be interesting. Some people are already afraid of their lives as to not being able to get any content out of that NPC station, because certain people are going to be camping them in their supers. But we all knew
Venomune's big scared of supers.
we all know supers need nerfed. So I mean,
oh yeah, that's what he wants. He wants them nerfed hard.
So secondly, on day 2, they released this earlier today. Day 2 of arriving in the Cobalt Edge, the adventurer began planet mining. However, he was attacked by drones. Fortunately, he successfully resisted the drone attack and unexpectedly obtained new materials. Now let's take a closer look at their situation. And in the log, it says, in the Cobalt Edge, there are different sized wanderer camps filled with various drone forces. Pilots can defeat these drones to obtain materials for manufacturing ships and equipment. After defeating all enemies, pilots can unanalyze relics to obtain blueprints and materials. Pilots can find common ores and gas clouds, like in the Cobalt Edge, as well as gas cloud C70, which is used to develop new materials. And in this graphic, we have, what are these drones called? Rogue drones? Did I see that? Am I correct on that? Or are they called rogue drones?
I think so. I know one of the translations came back as destroyers.
Yeah, so it's interesting. We have some new content is there, and we do see there's some ventures mining a single rock, so that's kind of funny. But
Ultra realism.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, man. But it kind of sucks that Wormholes, unlike NDS, where you get a gate that just pops up in your system and you scan it down, like, oh, here's an entrance to a wormhole. Let me go in it and see what's inside of it. And of course, there's asteroid belts or whatever. You can go in there and get those ores. So that would have been cool. Heck, maybe I'll just move a freaking a miner into Lowsec and just, search those gates and then get that ore. It's all about the ore.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised with that revelation and the announcement that you'd be able to mine in there. I wasn't expecting that. So I was expecting there to be no ore belts, but it just seems like it's more like regular space. It's just difficult to get to.
Yeah.
It's tough to guess where the main value is going to be, though, right? Because one thing I got from them saying there's 16 types of drones is it sounds like you're also farming for blueprints and mats, but you're going to have quite a distribution of it, right? To give an example, that's like, you have a CTA fit and you might have 2 blue modules that do exactly the same thing, but only one's listed, so it costs 5 times the amount of JITA. You might have opportunities like that as a result of this content, which I think would be good.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. And I'm actually curious as to what the gates are going to look like, or I guess the wormholes, what they're going to look like, not only as a UI perspective, but what kind of content that they're going to have inside them, because we know that they're a link to Cobalt Edge. So, okay, we'll say I don't want to go to Cobalt Edge for whatever reason, right? And I just want to stay in the wormhole. What can I do inside that wormhole in Eve Echoes? I know everybody's got their opinions of what they could do and can do in EO, but I'm curious to see what we will be able to do when these things release. And Taylor, yeah, I don't know if you caught, but all this stuff is going to get released this week.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big patch. And I was actually saying that this is coming sooner than what I anticipated, because I would have figured it would have been closer to the actual anniversary celebration date as an update.
Well, it seems to me from what we've been hearing that there's going to be more than just this major update Wednesday. Like there's going to be another one, maybe not as major, obviously, but there's going to be another update the week after and another one the week after. Like we're going to get updates the next 3 weeks of some kind, some significance anyway. Because I doubt they drop this and they drop some of the other stuff that I know is coming really, really, really soon. I doubt they drop all of it at once,
right?
On one Wednesday. Right? We've already talked about the anchorable structures that increase the number of belts in your system. We've already talked about the cloak jammer. I mean, I just doubt that they drop all that kind of stuff along with this all at the same time.
I think that would be a lot. I mean, even if the devs didn't have a problem with it from a technical standpoint, just as a player, right? That's a lot to consume at once.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But no, we could be surprised. But and we're gonna get another update tomorrow. That, like they said, 3 days of today was day 2, yesterday day 1, tomorrow day 3 of whatever else they're gonna tell us about Cobalt Edge. So we'll know tomorrow morning some more stuff.
I'm actually asking to see if we can get the day 3 info. Carrie's awake. Is Carrie in the audience?
It doesn't look like it. No.
Okay. Yeah, I just messaged her. So maybe while we're doing Q&A, she'll give us day 3, but don't give your hopes up. Because as soon as I get it, it'll release to the EO or the EE Discord. Well, she said, sure. Let's see if I can get it.
Oh.
So Taylor, ready up the Q&A. We'll cover that. And maybe we'll get day 3 live on air.
Okay, I've got the Q&A pulled up if you want to go ahead and read it.
Yeah, go for it.
8-1 to 8-7 Q&A, the week that was. First one, hi, thank you for all your hard work. What is the time frame you are looking for to releasing more nanocores for the advanced carriers? A lot of players are waiting for them, myself included. Cloud comes back. That's developer Cloud. Comes back. He's answering all these this week, so that's good. He says, we will be releasing a variety of cores for the versatile assault ship, as well as new cores that can be used on multiple ships in the second half of the year, August through December. So let's parse that for a minute. I think this player was actually just asking, well, maybe advanced carriers, maybe he was asking for the VACs. I don't know. I would like to just see more nanos, period, for all the carriers and dreads, but and something a little easier to get outside of, $300. But this answer, let's parse this a little bit. So they are releasing more variety cores for the VACs. Okay, that's good. As well as new cores that can be used on multiple ships. So
Yeah.
the way I interpret that, and again, I'd like to get your guys' thoughts, obviously, but the way that I interpret that is you'll get a nanocore that will work for cruisers. You'll get a nanocore that will work for destroyers. You get one that works for battleships, right? It'll just be one you can apply to a ship class, not just any ship. That's my take on that. I think that'd be very difficult to be able to have a nano that just goes on to fucking anything you have.
It could be, but it's not out of the realm of possibility because we know that they've introduced nanites now as an incentive to get more subs, right? So nanites are not the PI, the thing that you get from the sub that lets you exchange the cores, right? So you get one box.
Oh, yeah, the three.
Right?
Yeah, the three compressed nanites or whatever they're called. Yeah, the little blue box.
And I want to say that might be a possibility because it seems like that would undercut their profits, but we don't know. You know what I mean? Like only they're going to see the data on what types of cores and passes they're able to sell. So they may see it as a good value add or plan on making money in some other way.
Yeah, that'll be great. God mode nanocore that I could put on any one of my ships. It'd be nice. I mean, if you look at it from a nanocore upgrade aspect, as you got all your nanocores and you want to upgrade them. Well, if you have 7 nanocores, now you have to prioritize which ones you want to upgrade, whether it's for mining ships or for PvP ships or your carriers or whatever, right? So there is that, right? Well, could there be one that fits them all?
And in the darkness binds them.
Oh boy.
There's one that rules them all. But
all right, next one. Yeah. Bradrick. Would it be possible to implement character transfers to other accounts? EVE Online has the character bazaar. I think this could be a big revenue earner if implemented. This is what is charged for transfers in EVE Online. A character can be transferred to another account via the transfer character service through the EVE store page. A single character transfer involves a transfer fee in the form of a credit card or PayPal payment of 20 euros or 20 euro USD, 17 GPT, and 13.99 rupee. Cloud comes back and says, right now we're unable to offer this feature to players due to the way our account system works with third-party social media platforms and verifying laws in different countries. Sorry about that. We hope you can understand. I mean, basically, Cloud's answer is we don't have this structure set up the same way that EVE Online does. We know they can do it. We're not going to do it. Sorry.
You're right.
That's basically what they're saying.
There is a way, they just don't recommend doing it.
I would, to be honest, the way I kind of read this too, I mean, I realize this is a no right now with a very plausible explanation, but I would not expect them to allow this before they feel accounts have reached their final maturity, i.e. before Titans come out.
Well, even after Titans, I mean, I just don't see why they would. I don't see why they would. I don't see why long term they wouldn't want to do it.
Right.
But I could see there being a technical reason why they feel like they can't. They seem to have a different philosophy on privacy laws versus EVE Online CCP.
Well,
I think it's more
they do. So
yeah,
I mean, so we have, like, for example, like HIPAA and whatnot. Europe has GDPR. China has basically two regulations that are very similar to GDPR, except they're more difficult to build systems around. They're even more general than GDPR, and the fines are actually much harder to kind of stomach, and it gives local officials in China a lot more power than the GDPR version. So I mean, I'm not saying that this is like a good excuse, but it's certainly believable that they'd want to take more time, because some of those fines can be ruinous.
Yeah.
So what's the point of implementing that even in EO? Is that just for players to sell their accounts or trade accounts for whatever?
Well, it's a bridge.
Yeah.
So just like everything else in EVE, right? Your character is a resource. Your character and PI, they're not different things. You know what I mean? So all you're doing is you're just commoditizing that character and then saying, like, yeah, it's an MMO, but before it's an MMO, EVE is a sandbox. This is something that there should be liquidity on the market for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's one of the things that I think makes EVE so ahead of its time, is them acknowledging, like, yo, people are going to buy money, so we're going to have Plex. People are going to buy accounts, so we're going to sell accounts. But we're going to do it out in the open. We're going to keep it transparent, so we're going to undercut the black market. I think it's brilliant. It'd be great if they could prioritize this next year.
They didn't on EVE Online. They didn't do that for a very, very long time. They kind of fought against that for a while.
Right.
But
yeah,
they slowly gave up.
You know, and people can make their personal businesses, you know, leveling up characters and getting certain things in games and then selling them for real world currency and then making a living out of it too. So that's one thing that people do typically in these types of games. I don't have a need to do this or a want to. This I wouldn't really inquire about this or care even if it was there.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Can we get fighter bays added to the fittings on the Capsuleer outpost? I believe this would make for an increasingly an interesting defense on the stations. I was also wondering if we could get additional skills weapons for the stations themselves so the stations can participate in warfare more often. Because right now it's just better to undock a ship than to actually use the surface cannons. Exile comes back and says, hi, we're currently working on improving the weapon system for the structure and plan to release an update soon. As for the fighter, it is a feature that needs more time to develop. Please keep an eye out for future updates. I don't understand that answer at all. I do know that they've been working on kind of updating the defenses for Outposts for quite some time. But yeah, I do not want to see them put fighters on the Outpost. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's interesting. Though they have hinted that they will be working on some sort of optimized, I guess you could say, weaponry on the outposts and stuff like that they can add for POS owners to maybe defend their outpost solo versus a fleet that's maybe attacking it, or solo. Like right now, I see people getting kills in outposts for, you know, solo bombers or frigates or whatever. Actually, I think I posted that in a content creator channel the other day when Vetemune was talking about certain ships are better than others and all that. I said an outpost killed like a Vexor Navy issue or something like that. I said outposts are too OP. They need nerf.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, we do have We do have 2 new structures coming. I don't know if it's this week or whatever. I would think actually they would have to be this
Should
week.
be this
honestly,
week.
yeah. With the addition of Cobalt Edge, the Scout Outpost and the Corporation Outpost. Yeah, those 2 right there. That's the Chinese version of them. But those should drop for being able to put in Cobalt Edge. So you're not going to do your normal ones. And I do believe Slippy made a comment about this. I do believe somewhere in this Gunka stuff with all this shit, it does mention that Scout Outpost has better defensive capabilities than a regular outpost does.
I think it does, but it loses
anchors.
shields, right?
Well, it has 4 high slots too.
Yeah, it has more weapon slots, but the low slot energy output interface is abandoned to improve strength and stability.
No auto PI.
The reconnaissance outpost only has 1 enhancement, and it is not equipped with the shield enhancement function.
Yeah, so you start an armor. I mean, but that's good though, because it you might have more EHP on that, but the fact that you really only have 2 instances where you can be aware, right? You have armor and then you're right to hull, and there's no passive farming. So in terms of if you want to break even, ends up being very different than the other structures, right? Like you have to actively be managing your structure to get ROI from it, or using it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too, I mean, when you talk about Cloud or Exile talking about buffing the cap outposts, it's important to understand how they started, right? Like, so when those were put in the game, whether it's either that was beta 3 or beta 4, I think 4 was the battleship test. Man, within a month in game, I think cruiser DPS, when it was considered good, was like 500, whereas now, I don't even know what the max... Bradrick, what's the max DPS a frigate can get now?
I've seen cruisers. I've seen cruisers upwards of 2,000 DPS.
Sure, but like a frigate that doesn't even have to commit to a fight. Like what's smiley face? Okay, gotcha. OPSEC.
No, a bomber's going to be 3,600.
Okay, so the equivalent of what? 6 solid cruisers back at launch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And Taylor, I believe you did skip a Q&A question.
Did I skip one?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, because it has to do with AI ratting, and I'm just completely that's like I'm allergic to that shit. So here we go. Last one. Are there any plans to fix issues for AI ratting? Not only do the modules functions suboptimally, shield hardener's not always running, but the gravitational fluctuations prevent true AFK ratting. We, as paying customers, demand the promised product.
We demand the promised product. We demand it.
Good joke, dude.
This is a guy in my corp. I can tell you that right now. This is a guy who just wants to rat and do nothing else. Anyway, Cloud comes back and says, "Hi, we've just fixed the issue where some modulars do not stay running, or some modules do not stay running in the latest update, and we'll keep working on optimizing the AI feature further. Thanks for your patience as we work through these issues." Whatever.
Which actually was a good. It was a good change because now they never turn off. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They went from turning off after every death of a rat or switching anomalies to staying on even while warping. So I guess that's good. That probably is going to fix a lot of the issues of people dying and having to submit a service ticket to get their ship back because the damn ship didn't activate its mods. But anyway.
Yeah, here's what I have to say to AI ratting. Cry harder.
So what's funny is a certain other content creator covered these a day or so ago, and what's funny about that was he told those people to go out and jump in front of traffic or something similar like that. So I found that to be very interesting.
Wow.
We don't need to be that.
Okay. This is a content creator, you said?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Benzie.
You could only guess.
Oh.
Yeah, he's telling people to
poor Benzie. He's going through divorce. Give the man a break.
He's fine.
He's going through divorce.
He's fine. Though,
she kept the hat.
He was wearing a hat.
Wow, sniped. FC is getting sniped tonight, boys. Man, we thought we were going to wait till Cobalt Edge to see the real kill mails, but
Oh man, I couldn't help it. I just could. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry at all. And for those of you who are still complaining to me about what I said about a sheave 2 weeks ago, you can go jump in front of traffic too. I mean,
Wow.
I've said all I can. I mean, come on.
Wow. Shots fired. Yeah, the
uploading to Mario
unless
right now.
he's got like a bulk box of hats somewhere. He has one in his
Okay, but to be fair though, like you don't fly what you can't afford to lose, right? I mean, we all know that, right? You know, you got to have the spares. Support your local indie.
Yep.
Okay. Then I don't think we had much for patch notes this last week. It was I think it was just a small patch notes. Super carrier manufacturing contest, more about the formations, and when the corporations got picked, I actually forgot to talk about this, and I was talking with OC about this, was when the corporations got picked.
Oh, yeah.
I actually got a notification saying that my corp didn't get picked. I'm like, how does that happen? I was invited to the dang ceremony. How do I not get picked? Right?
I'm so glad you brought that up because, man, it's just funny seeing that, because at this point, man, I've had so many interactions with netties. You pointed that out. My shock level was like, I wasn't even concerned. I was like, but of course, of course, you got that message saying that even though you definitely are in, you definitely are not in at the same time.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It was absolutely hilarious. And I heard this from a court member. I just happened to log in and someone just posted in chat, "Oh, I see we didn't make the parade." And I was like, that was where my eyes like opened, like, what? Like I did the registration. I, crossed my T's and dotted the I's and all that stuff. Like we literally got the invite to go. And then I log in game and I checked that and it says on the events page that my corporation wasn't chosen and I was going to get refunded, all that crap. The first thing I did was DM Carrey said, "I got a problem." And I wasn't the only one. I had actually sent OC a couple messages too. And, he's like, "Yeah, it's probably a bug." And later we had actually confirmed that it was indeed a bug. And it was the next day they patched that. I had a small game patch and then you go back to the events and then it said that we were there and then we were able to do the formation. So right now we're in the formation modification phase of the ceremony. And so August 11th to August 14th, those corporations that made the parade will do their formations, or they can submit it so Concord can review them. I did ours today and did all that fancy stuff. And for the first time doing it, I'd have to say, the UI was definitely, it took a little bit of getting used to. I've probably scrapped my formation about 5+ times because I just the learning curve of it and trying to, select the ship, and it wouldn't work correctly on my phone because it was weird. So I had to use my tablet. Yeah. And then you have to select a character to go to that ship that's in the formation, all that type of stuff, and put your motto in there. Big didn't make it in this year. What happened to there?
I didn't even try.
You're the resistance. Shame. The resistance.
No, I had to have some way to punish. I had to have some way to punish people in my corp until morale improves.
Wow.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Rip.
There are some actual differences this year, though. It looks like. I mean, I don't know if this is confirmed, but last year they sent. I'll actually put this in the chat. Last year, you had a way to actually give a blurb about your corp, and it looked like this. And we didn't get this year. So I don't know if any corps maybe put troll responses in there and they don't do that this year. I don't know who would do something like that, but
yeah, that's possible. Didn't think about that.
The other thing is that it looks like on the Chinese server, I'm trying to find this screenshot. It looks like on the Chinese server they actually paid twice what we paid. Like they paid 2,000 AOR.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So they give I posted the image of mine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, 2,000 AUR registration fee. Yeah. which is I don't know why they decided to do that. It's odd.
That looks cool, man. That looks really cool, dude.
So I posted what my formation looks like, and I see in this screenshot it didn't. My corporation motto didn't go in there, but that's really the only spot where you can put any form of, I guess, motto or saying or anything like that. But it also says here, please pilot the designated ship, dock in any station, and wait online until the event starts. Participation is not possible otherwise. So I did have a few questions regarding that, whether or not the characters that were, attending the parade actually had to be on during that time. And actually, I did ask that to Carrey, so we can get some answers on that later. Maybe they changed something, I don't know, or they will. Just don't know.
Hopefully they did. I think last year you had to, but I mean, they've already made a bunch of changes. I know the other one is last year, if you were in the parade, your banner was added to that monument that's just off Jita 44. So this year, it's not in the notes or whatever, but this year, if you're in it again, they're just adding another banner. So I don't know what they're going to do with the monument, but it might be interesting to check that out after.
Yes,
there is a monument.
There is a monument in Jita. Yep.
Been there a long time.
Yeah, when you change your banner, it updates automatically, which is cool. But they said they're just going to keep stacking banners on it, so that might be interesting to see when that gets updated.
Red one broke. You don't even know, man. You know what ships I was going to bring to this? I was told I can't. You don't even know.
Why? It's time to bling out.
Because, and plus, that's only one pilot. He's able to join. I have other pilots that aren't able to join. So what? Catch me outside.
Anthony doesn't even know what a Stiended is. What are you from, Pravi? Come on, man.
Rip.
I'm
OG.
kidding.
Rip.
I'm kidding.
So they did implement a couple optimizations in this valuation of the base market transaction record. Like every week, they updated the icon for light offense fighters. They optimized the combat logic of AI cores, which some modules will remain running. Like I said earlier, they don't turn off. I guess it could be a good thing. I know that was one of my griefs about the AI was it was turning shit off when it didn't need to. It's just it was weird like that. So that is it for. I believe that's it for all the game news that we have. Anything else that
more
we may have?
people in comms here than over on a certain Discord right now.
Well, just think we have half of our listenership is in a CTA right now, and they said they couldn't make the show because because they're in a CTA right now, which is perfectly fine. I told them that they can listen to the show afterwards. It is a podcast, after all. So it was one thing about
I'm mixing up for invite, please.
I could drag and drop you right into their comps. The that was one thing about pushing content is I don't really have to push this content because with a podcast, people, it's already downloaded to their phone when, of course, if you're subscribed to the podcast on podcast platforms, it's there. Every new episode is already on your phone for when you're ready to listen to it. Like you don't even have to go out of your way to search for it or anymore. It's right there. Or YouTube, yeah, if it's in your recommended feed. Yeah, so there's free advertising right there, just naturally. So they'll listen to it afterwards. But anyway, like I said, I think that was it. I got sidetracked. I have to go back to the other Discord now. That was it for stuff so far. I did get a reply from Carrie about page 3 of Cobalt Edge. And she said that the poster is still being designed, so she's not able to share it with me right now. So I just left it at that. Oh, yes, the suggestions.
Oh, God.
Sailor, the suggestions of the week. My suggestions have been hitting airwaves, and it's been absolutely hilarious. Okay, so this one, so the other day, I guess a few people noticed, and Taylor even considered it a torching of Vetamune. Me and Vetamune had a little discussion, sort of debate in the content creator chat the other day. It was like a day or two ago, I think. And so, the topic of whatever, right? So that led me to get so convinced that I needed to post this suggestion of nerfing supers so small ships can kill them in fair engagements. Supers are too powerful, people. Gotta nerf them. Gotta make it fair somehow. So how are we going to make it fair? How is a person that doesn't have a super going to be able to kill a super without the use of another super? Well, in my debate, if there's a will, there's a way, right? I don't think that they need actual nerf. I think they're perfect as the way they are. Other people seem to beg differently.
But we can do both, though. You can nerf and not nerf, and you can not nerf and still have a fair fight. Honest opinion, I think that once a super is on grid, they need time dilation to come into effect. Everyone gets a 30-second window, and you can immediately challenge the pilot to a 1v1 odd match in CSGO. I think that's the only way for them to
What the hell? What the hell? No. You can kill a super without a super. And it doesn't even take 50 ships to do it. I'm not going to tell you why. Vetamune was trying to get me to tell him why. I'm not going to tell him why. I'm not a fucking idiot. But I know.
Right, tell me what your counter is for.
Yeah,
this new content. Prove it.
God, I know exactly how you go about killing a super without. Blink could probably. I don't think Blink could do it. I don't think the frigates would do it all by themselves.
They'd take only 3 days.
I'm talking about larger ships. I'm not talking about just little ships. I'm talking about specific set of ships, and it might be 10 guys. And it's not battleships either, right? So it does involve frigates too. So at any rate, that's all I'm going to say. And if you can't figure this, I mean, that's Vetamune's problem. Everybody who has this problem about wanting to nerf things or change things or balance things or make things fair, shut the fuck up. Like, really, take the time to figure out a true counter. Everything has a counter in this game. You might not like what that counter is. You might not be able to pull off what that counter is, but it exists. And if you can't do it, then figure it out or get some help to figure yourself out with it and move on. Yeah. There's no I win button in this game. Some guy with one super doesn't suddenly mean he's going to kill everybody and never die.
Let alone it being a swipe super.
It doesn't matter if it's a swipe super or an alliance.
According to some people, it matters. According to some people,
it matters. It's still the same thing, right? And what's funny is these guys that are out there swiping for the supers aren't even fucking fitting them right. They're total glass cannons, so they're going to die way easier. If you go back and watch the content creator challenge, the 1v1 thing that we had, the biggest takeaway from that should have been if someone fits it properly and tanks it, it's going to be very hard to kill. If they don't do that, it dies fucking instantly.
Like, can I just say, if someone if that's not a meme, and someone legitimately swipe, let me just set my baseline, right? I have 6 super cores. I spend money on the game. That being said, and I'm just only saying this to baseline this next comment, if you legitimately, and it's not a meme, swiped for a fucking super carrier, thank you. I appreciate your sacrifice on behalf of the Echoes community. No, I mean, really, because man, people say the game's pay to win. I honestly, aside from maybe Voyage, whatever, right? The game's fucking pay to lose, dude. If you swiped $5,000 for a super carrier and you're mad at that guy, you are confused. That dude is a fucking econ hero. He's paying an insane amount of subs. Please keep swiping supers, because the mats are coming from somewhere.
But I can't kill his super with 10 caps. That's the problem.
Oh well, I quit.
Good.
I'm gonna go play Fortnite.
Well, yeah.
LOL dead MMO.
Call of Duty Mobile. How about that? But that was a whole nother thing too. Was I can't kill certain ships with 10 ships or 20 ships. You can't do that with a super, I guess. Or a super cannot die to 10 caps. I actually think that is wrong. I think they can die. Wrong. I think with it can die within a couple. I've seen capitals go down with 1 or 2 battleships on the kill mill. And some people just don't realize that that can be done. So
Actually, I have a kill mail to really seal this.
There's a good one from Slippy right there. Imagine being so bad Taylor's mocking your fitting skills, right? Right? I mean,
Wow.
Mr. No Prop Mod here.
right? Jeez. Yeah, I remember that CTA. That was pretty funny.
That was hilarious.
So, and Taylor had said, "Get good" in the CC chat.
I did tell Metamune that.
Wow.
I mean, seriously.
Salt extraction succeeded.
Salt extraction.
So that was just one of the suggestions that that I had posted, and what was Slippy saying? He posted.
Oh God!
it
Here comes Damon. Here comes Damon posting the whole thing.
What? Oh,
he's posted everything from what Vetamine said. Yeah, this is just great. This is just
it. Yeah, I like content creators. I like talking and discussing things, and it doesn't matter who they are. But if they come into the chat and immediately start demanding changes, and anytime they do chime in, it's all about nerfing or X, Y, and Z topics. It's just like, get real. I don't know.
Because that's easier. No, but that's easier though. Think about it, right? Like you get on. Why should I confront myself? Why should I have an engineer's mindset? Why should I iterate on anything? I can just sit there and be like, man, this is pay to win trash and whatever, and this guy swiped, and I'm not saying none of these things are true, but man, it's like that's 80% of the airwaves, it feels like, in once a conversation gets to a certain capacity, it's like inevitably Hitler or Nazis will get brought up. Inevitably the conveyor belt of convenient excuses that requires zero analysis of what's actually happening or why it's that way is going to get brought up. Rather than, or maybe I could try something different. Maybe I could have build nights with my group. You know what I mean? Maybe I could problem solve.
Yeah.
Something, right?
So there's an underlying hint that in my suggestions of nerfing supers that Vetamune was actually getting made fun of, and Michael Seibach from RTI does not get that. So rip. But there's what was the other suggestion that I had? I know it was actually sent back to me, and I said, "LOL, yep." Let me pull that up. It was sent back to me. I was told it was going to be everywhere too, but actually, surprisingly, it got more votes than I would have figured. Dang it, where was it? Actually, I had to go back to the suggestions page on the official. So I've been monitoring this, and I've been seeing what people been saying and doing the suggestions. It's actually pretty good entertainment if you actually read some of these and who it comes from.
Yep.
But let's see, where was my latest one? This one actually got 20 upvotes, to my surprise, because I was actually more so joking based off of another conversation about adding Coveter covert ops, procure Navy issues, and Orca fleet issues. Add more high slots for mining ships to add guns so they can kill PvP roamers who only attack miners. Hint, hint. Oh, and add a red scan immunity buff while using mining implant. I got 20 upvotes on that. I'm actually pretty proud of that. But it's absolutely hilarious to me how we have elite PvPers who only attack miners. At any resistance, they just run. It just boggles the hell out of my mind. It's like, why do you even roam the space if you don't want to engage people who want to actively PvP against you? You just want easy targets that don't fight back. Get a life and go elsewhere. Fucking losers. That's seriously all that's about.
Another form of PvE. Like if you're honestly flying, I'm not saying if you kill miners like you're a PvEer, but if you look at your Mario stats, and 90% of your ISK comes from killing miners, and you're not, we're not talking about like it's a military operation. You know what I mean? It's not that context. That you're in endurance, man. You know what I mean? Like it's PvE.
Yep. So. It's just one of those things, right? Obviously those miners have guns on their ships and they're used to that type of stuff, but it's it's hilarious how they run at any sort of engagement that they don't think that they can win. So, anywho, it is what it is, right? I see Damon is posting more photos of leaked content creator chat in the on-air chat about the back and forth. I see it in the conversation hasn't got to me yet. This is just Taylor's conversation so far. Coming soon, Damon will add some more. Damon, you're in the...
There it is right there.
Can you at least say hi, Damon?
When I'm doing elite PvP in my Condor, I'm not expecting it back as super. I just moved to the next minor. Good job, Rambo.
It's true. That it's true. I mean, I
You know, just PM the super pilot and tell him 1v1, son.
I was dropping truth bombs all night. Tell you what. So, but apparently, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, I guess that's the latest Salt, and Damon will probably cover the story if he does in his next contents, and so I'll hear some Salt about that, I'm sure. But anyway, what else did we have on the agenda? I got a little bit sidetracked right there. I know that the Chinese server had updated. Taylor, have you seen that? Did the Chinese website add some new things to the website for the upcoming event? I want to say they did. Benzi shared a screenshot of some Chinese writing. I didn't get to translate it though. Maybe it was the screenshots we already saw.
I did see that. I did translate it, and it doesn't tell us anything at all new.
That we don't know already. Okay.
That we don't know already. Yeah. So I'm going over to the Chinese site right now to see if there's anything else there for it.
Damon says otherwise. Cobalt Edge structures only. Damon, are you able to unmute to talk about this, or you may be busy? Legion Scout Outpost.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on that.
Okay, he's got to get approval. So we'll see. I don't want to cut to a commercial break just yet.
And Carrie did say no on the...
Hello again.
Hello.
So yeah, what's happening? So I translated the entire page. So on the Chinese side, basically what they are is these wormholes are going to lead out into Cobalt space, which I believe is 16 different constellations, or I think I got the numbers wrong, but I translated everything, but it was
69.
A bunch of different yeah. So these are available for SOV capture. However, you can only capture the SOV with these new structures. Here's the other one. There's an outpost and there's a corporation citadel, which can only be used there. You can't use a regular citadel. You can't use a regular outpost. These are the only ones that can drop to those sections. The asteroid belts, when you're mining there, you're going to get all your normal gases. You're going to get your normal stuff, but you're also going to get a new material called C70. Also, these asteroid belts will spawn rats. There are, again, I know, buddy. There are anomalies, anoms, large, small, all that stuff. Like they're gonna have special rats in them. Some will escalate to higher ones with elite rats. These elite rats will drop sometimes blueprints, location like wave graphs. That's will open up new areas, which you'll be able to get the new materials to build new things. They haven't announced what the new things are, such as ships or anything like that, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of things. I'm not sure. It's definitely not Wormholes that's going to be working like EVE Online or Niwa Space, but it is a whole new thing. But it sounds like they are monetizing this way because you need to have these certain things to claim SOV there, and they are also running a SOV claiming contest in the new area.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to the latest and greatest Echoes from the Back episode this next week. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, since they broke the NDA first, I have no qualms of doing an entire video on it.
Yeah. And I guess with Cobalt Edge being only accessible through wormholes, certain entities were positioning themselves in New Eden to be able to take certain regions, and that all just got trashed, by the way. So
Yes.
so much for that, right?
By that, you mean the AOA mother fleets that they've specifically built and stationed over around Geminate in those areas so that they can get up into that region faster and easier and settle it and take it from everybody. And now they can't quite do that.
Something like that.
And all these access points will only be in low sec, and you can cross them with every ship type, all the way from a pod up to a super.
Yep. And then probably Titans. Yeah, the his kid Uwud. Yeah.
Yep.
I think with the drone regions opening up, Revival.
That's Damon's new name, by the way. It's not Damon Zell anymore. It's Dave Munsell.
Dave Munsell.
Wow.
I think with the new regions being implemented, we know that Revival of GHA is on the forecast. So I know we joked.
Will we have an interview about that next week? Will we have any other leadership on?
Yeah, I'll have Bojangles on. I got him in DMs. We're gonna have
oh boy,
fantastic. And I just want Firesides back. I don't know if there's anyone that can pull those strings. Just what do we got to do to get Firesides back? That's the real content we need.
What do you mean? Firesides from GHA? You mean?
No, from Pantheon.
Oh God.
We could just reminisce on the old ones. I mean, those ones are all long.
Good morning, good evening, and good night, everyone.
Holy
Welcome to Fireside.
That's what I want.
I was just gonna go pull that up. Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
That is probably the greatest voice clip.
Just about blew my ears out too.
Apologies.
Yeah, I think back in the day, Damon, you're hot micing right there, Chief. Back in the day, I know that I was working on a Sun Banana soundboard, and so I was able to do that. I was just taking clips out from the firesides during the war times with Pantheon when he was doing those firesides. But as well as, believe it or not, I was the original person who came up with the bingo board for the firesides during the Pantheon War, and people were wanting to do those as well. They're like, oh, we're going to listen to the fireside and then fill out this bingo board of all the stuff that he was going to say. It was great. Good times. That dude still probably hates me. Hey, look, Slippy's got all of the firesides right there. There you go.
Very nice.
Okay. So with that, we've covered just about everything as far as the game news and announcements, upcoming content. We're expecting Cobalt Edge this week, so that's going to be exciting. Also going to extract a lot of salt, so I'm excited to see that as well. And just to get feedback from the players, the good and the bad type of stuff too. So I'll be willing to try out the new content as well. I'll get a chance to see it. So good deal. Can't wait. So with that, I'm going to hit a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to have a conversation with Carrie, as I had an interview with her. And, we talked about a number of things, right? So we'll get into that after the commercial break.
You ask why they know to respond to my DMs.
Rip. No. She don't like you. Hi, I'm Cal Scarge of Cal Scarge's phenomenally overpowered and integrated industrialized laser light strip mining Covenant 2s and intergalactic integrated prototype grade Ascension Core neutralizer equipped shield boosting achievable that is exceptionally overpowered and misuses bait mining Foreman Orcas. As an unwanted result of a pointless war, I am now in possession of several plus 25 warp stabbed, absurdly painted, not so fast, really expensive, integrated to the balls with expensive mod equipped Rorquals, and they are just waiting to transform your dead corp into a living drama that tells passersby, hey everyone, a real juicy motherfucker is mining right here. Your neighbors will frown upon you and PvPers will camp your system and jump on you like a pack of dogs on a three-legged cat as soon as they could cast their eyes on a sort of tanky but not really ugly base looking thing in a belt.
illegally undocked capital industrial ship that is probably a good motivation kick if you could pull off the kill, and everyone's favorite, somewhat AFK miner that yeets Rorquals as bait in hopes of surviving but loses horribly and then leaves the corp because he was made fun of. These hangar dust collectors are priced to move until they do. They are an enormous corp liability for corp theft. So please come see me at Cal Scarge's phenomenally overpowered and integrated industrialized laser light strip mining cover 2 and intergalactic integrated prototype grade ascension core neutralizer equipped shield boosting achievable that is exceptionally overpowered and misuses bait mining for an Orca and now Rorqual Emporium. Look for the cameras in every system in the area.
Happy birthday to you. Your family looks like monkeys. You must live in a zoo. You're smelling kind of funky. You must be a monkey too. So happy birthday to you. Bum ba da 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 da. It's from your friends.
And yes, we are back. And I'd seen, Taylor, you'd actually missed the intro that I had made for the birthday song, huh? You'll have to go back.
Oh, I did.
You'll have to go back and re-listen, unless the audience wants to listen to it again. Those that may have missed it, but I would say go back and listen to the beginning. Some are saying no. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, a lot of people missed it. So if you want to hear that, then check out the beginning of the podcast. Then I played it right away. Of course, when it releases, right? It's not released yet. But with that being said, for the first time in Echoes of New Eden history, I was actually able to sit down with the community manager and have a one-on-one talk, an interview, I guess you could say. And I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and it really took a reason like this to be able to do it. And, in past community managers, I've asked, hey, can I get some of the devs on in an interview and talk about the game? And, of course, they wanted to get questions ahead of time and stuff like that, which actually, to my surprise, Carrie wasn't like that. She was just kind of wondering more so how the conversation was going to go. And, I was like, okay, well, this is, stuff that we could talk about and it'll be a good start. And we just go from there. And she's like, okay, sure. So let's do it. And Taylor, if you want to follow along, I put in the show notes as to some of the topics that we're going to discuss, but I'm going to jump right into it. And so I'll mute my mic and we'll listen to the interview that I had with Carrie. So, welcome to Echoes of New Eden podcast. I am here with Carrie. How is it going, Carrie?
Oh, pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And, it's a pleasure having you on the show. This is the first time in podcast history, actually, that I've been able to get somebody from the team to be able to come on the show. So I am super excited for our conversation today. And it's just so great having you there. I'm really excited. Words do not seem to they can't explain how excited I am right now. So it's great having you.
You really get me nervous, guy.
So for those that may not know you, introduce yourself. What do you do for us and the community?
Mm-hmm. Okay, and hello everyone. My name is Carrie. I guess some of you may met me a lot in the official community of Echoes, but I will still introduce myself a little bit. And I work as the community manager of Echoes, and now it's a great honor for me to be here with you guys. So hope you guys and we can have a great time together. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great having you. So I can't wait for the listeners to hear this. So
me too.
Tomorrow, since we are recording this early because of time zone differences and all that, tomorrow we celebrate Eve Echoes' third anniversary or third birthday, as you could say. So holy smokes, can you believe it's already been that long already?
Oh yeah. First, let's happy birthday to Echoes. I would say that even though I was not in the team when it was first, when it was in the close test or in the battle test, but I have been in the team for around like 1 year, and over the past year, I just feel the enthusiasm and the support from the community and from our players. Mm, there is no doubt that the game is in the process of continuous optimizations regarding the gameplay optimization or the system upgrades and essential. And our community is even becoming better and better, I would say. Players in our community just gather together to discuss the game plan or share their ideas, their insights. So for me, the 3-year development is indispensable from every player's support. So I really appreciate everyone's support and love for our game.
Yeah, and I am so excited that we get to celebrate the third birthday with a podcast episode. So I'm going to make it special, especially. So can't wait for that. But, with your time with us so far as a community manager, how has your experience been so far?
Okay. Regarding my working experience, I have 3 years of working experience in the marketing positions in the gaming industry. I'm mainly responsible for the community constructions and community operation. And also, in addition to responsible for the community managing staff of EV Echoes. I also be in the same positions in some other game projects that are made by NetEase. So I would say that I still have a lot of stuff to improve myself, but I do learn a lot from my working experience.
Wow, so you're really busy. Not only Eve Echoes, but other games as well.
Yeah, it is my job, and I really love my job too, being in so many gaming communities to meet with so many people and learn about different gaming cultures and to learn several things from different perspectives.
Yeah. Well, that's great. With that, you probably get a lot of DMs every day. Some of them even by me, especially me. Do you expect daily messages from me or others?
We talk a lot. Yes, we talk a lot bit, right? Yeah. But I've said that I don't mind receiving several DMs from different players. It is kind of interesting and important for me to check people's messages and reply to them. But I also want to state that sometimes I may be so busy, so I cannot reply to you as long as possible. But I will reply to every messages I receive. And if you got any suggestions or any insight that you want to share with me, don't hesitate to send it to me. I don't mind. I do welcome our players to send your advice to me, and I prefer to receive some messages that you can share your ideas or your points and with clear words, clear sentence, and with your own reasons, and I will check it very seriously. And if I got some good insight or good valuable feedback, I also share it with our team, with no matter with other staff, with the environment team. I would love to do that.
And that's great. Just to be able to have that communication with you. Often I send you messages and like you're just getting to work, or when you send me messages, I'm literally just waking up, or I'm just getting ready to go to work, and then obviously I'm not on my phone then. We play that back and forth, but it's great that you reply when you can, no matter what the issue would be, or questions or concerns. And I don't think it's been that great in Eve Echo's history with the community managers. M1, or was it M4A1? He was all right. Hayden was pretty good. Joseph needed a little bit of work, but we made it happen.
Okay. I'm really glad to hear that you are quite satisfied with my job. Yeah, it's kind of encouragement for me.
Yeah, so it's great. So there you got a snippet as to what she does for us, and for Eve Echoes. And it turned out what I actually learned was she's a community manager for multiple games through NetEase, not just Eve Echoes. So to my surprise, she's a lot more busy than I would have thought, because I thought she was just Eve Echoes only and had to deal with us every day, right? But that turned out to not be the case. So I found that to be pretty interesting. So what are your thoughts so far there, Taylor or OC? You're not snoozing, are you yet?
No, it's good stuff. I mean, I did walk away for a second to get a beer, but no, it's good. It's good.
I think that's. I mean, listen, I'm just happy that she came on. I mean, I know maybe other folks maybe had more specific questions they wanted or things in depth. The thing that I'd point out is, honestly, today's historic for two reasons, right? One, it's the third year, and we've had people talking about Dead Game for 2 years or longer. But also, I think it's the first time you said a CM has been on the show, and just having her literally engaging in a dialogue, right? Not that this is a CSM server, but the reason why I put time into that is what just happened is my ideal outcome, right? Is it just a dialogue is happening. It doesn't have to be you drilling into a specific thing. So the fact that she took time to do that and didn't have to, I think is amazing.
Yeah. Let alone an hour of her time to do that on her day off.
Which, I mean, I'm not saying I don't do that for customers, but man, definitely not the ones I don't like, unless I think it's going to really save me a lot of time, right? So that's amazing.
Yeah, so we talked about a number of topics, and the conversation goes longer, of course. And the next topic that I'd actually brought up was whether or not she played the game. And to my surprise, let's hear what she said. So with Eve Echoes, do you play Eve Echoes?
I'm sure. I'd say that I cannot manage our community if I don't play the game, if I don't know much about the game. But I will try to be humble when we are talking about the gameplay. I would say that I'm not quite good at our game in terms of in face of so many core players or excellent players in our communities. And if we are talking about the point that I like to do in the game, we have a lot of gameplays in our game, right? Whether it is the PvP player or the PvE, as well as the industry gameplay that everyone has been calling for a lot of times. And also, I want to share that the industry gameplay will have some new content to be added in the coming days. So please stay tuned. And our design or the art in our game is quite perfect, right? So I would say that the game just really will bring me a strong sense of immersion when I'm playing the game. Yeah.
So what do you like to do in the game?
I go for the PvP gameplay. I really enjoy the moment when I just beat some other guys. Yes, seeing other guys' ships being destroyed. It's kind of how does That's it. It's just brings me a sense of achievement, I say.
Yeah, it's satisfying, which is strangely odd because when I think of you, I do not think of a PvP player. I would have never thought that you actually PvP'd mostly in your time of gameplay. Yeah, that's great. I'm definitely not the best or hardcore Eve Echoes player at all. You know, I'm just a casual player. I do PvP, I do PvE, I do industry stuff. You know, I kind of do a little bit of everything, so it's not just one specific thing. But I don't consider myself a master of the game at all. You know, definitely not the case.
I think it's okay as long as everyone could find his own joy, his own pleasures in our games. I think that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine too. I think a lot of players in corporations and alliances, they found their place, especially nowadays, is they do what they like to do, and that's about it. You know, new players, they kind of have to figure out how to do all that type of stuff, and so there's a big learning curve. So
yeah, it reminds me when I was first enter the game. Still, yes, it's really hard for new players. I have to admit, you got a lot of stuff to learn and a lot of system to learn, and yes, I know that feeling. Yeah.
Have you been playing since the start of the game, like since it opened, or did you come in a little bit later?
Yeah, it's a little bit later. I have to admit. I have played the game for like around 1.5 years, if I remember correctly.
Then do you play on the international server or do you play on the Chinese only server?
Oh, yes, I prefer the global server. Yeah. So you can, for one thing, since I'm the community manager of the global server, so I have to, be in the server that are quite close to our community members. Also, in the global server can help me to learn something in English instead of in Chinese. So I can better memorize some keywords or some key expressions that are in English for me.
Wow. Okay. That's great to hear. Do you think we've ever met in game? Do you think the odds are there that we've met in game?
The odd we have met in game. Oh, it's kind of hard for me to say this. Can we just pass it?
No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. So we learned even more about Carrey as to what she likes to do in game. To my surprise, she's a PvP player, and she does prefer to play on the global server. Yeah. So.
And she did dunk on you.
She dunked on me, possibly.
Dude, that was okay. I'm not gonna lie. So her being a PvPer, that makes sense because she worked, bro. If you've ever worked in support and someone offered you a chance to grief your customers,
oh yes,
are you what? So you could work for NetEase, be in support, AI nanocore. You're not even paying for your own IP or Plex, and then you get to kill customers for free, dude,
for fun. Yeah,
bro.
She gets the satisfaction of seeing other people's ships blow up.
Tassador, to answer your ping, before I did what I'm doing, I did support for a long time, and I would have paid a lot more than $15 a month to grieve my customers. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's quite possibly she's camping my system 24/7. I don't know.
Dude, that evasion was 55555. She's like, well, let's not get into the weeds here. We're all players in the same game.
Yeah.
And, the anniversary's coming up.
Well, there's been previous wars and whatnot. She could have been a part of another alliance, or it's obvious she knows what corp I'm in because I send her all the info and stuff. Or, so it is what it is. But we've learned quite a bit so far about Carrey. As to what she likes to do and what she does for the community, and she likes the global server because it helps her with English. As you can tell, she's got some broken English, and she's actually pretty good at English, but it helps her, learn some more of that. And and stuff that's going on in game that involves the community as well. So that was also a pretty good segment. And then upcoming, we actually started talking about the 3rd anniversary as to what we're I guess expecting out of that, or stuff about the last anniversary. So let's hear what she had to say there. We got the 3rd anniversary coming up at the end of the month, and I'm excited to be there. As we're going to be having the voyage ceremony and everything. Will you be with us at the event?
Sure. Yeah. The voyage ceremony is around the corner, and we are busy preparing for it. And I will be with you guys, but I will not be the host for the events, because we have invited a professional host for the event. But I will be with you during the live streaming. I will check the community reaction and check how people's feedback for this event. I will be with you guys, and I'm really looking forward to the ship formation of every corporation. So I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I still have yet to do my formation. I had an internal sign up. I had an internal sign up for my members, what ships that they're going to be in and what characters and all that type of stuff, so I can make the formation. So I'm going to be doing that probably tomorrow, and then I'll have it submitted. But that's going to be cool. I'm excited to see everybody in the parade, and and you're saying about the hosts, how you hired professionals. So like last year, that you probably had the same, you probably did the same thing. With last year, some people thought it was pretty funny how the host didn't know what ships were the correct ships. Did you hear that? Have you heard that? We need to make sure that we need to make sure that they know nightmares look like nightmares, and and Naglfars look like Naglfars, stuff like that, right? So I hope that's communicated.
Okay. I didn't. To be honest, I didn't know this joke about the previous ceremony. Yes. Thanks for your advice. We will pay more attention to this point and make sure that the host is quite familiar with the ship, with the event, and try to avoid this kind of joke this time.
Hey, that's perfectly fine too.
Yeah. Since you're mentioning the ship formations, we are just making a video for the previous voyage ceremony highlights. Yeah, we are creating a videos that includes the exciting moments of the previous ceremony, and we're gonna post it on YouTube in the coming days. So stay tuned for it. Yeah.
Awesome to hear. So with the next with the anniversary event, will content creators be receiving gifts to be able to give to their following during the event?
Sure. Yeah. We just think about sending some special gift or some special clothes for you, and you could share it with your fans, with your followers. But we are still thinking about the content of the gift. And if you have any idea or any suggestions about the gift, you can let me know. Yeah.
And that's for the listeners, right? Because I know when you originally inquired about that, I sent you a whole long list of stuff that you could do, that you can add to stuff.
Yeah.
I
remember that. Yeah, I will check it. Yeah.
The custom gift codes for content creators was really great, and I remember the last one that you had. I don't know if you know, but when mine went active, mine had unlimited uses for about 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, until somebody fixed it. I don't know how it got fixed or who reported it, but it was unlimited for about 2 hours, and so some of my followers got more skill points than others. So I thought that was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
But of course, they had to be
Okay.
awake like super early in order to have done that because a lot of people, it was already fixed by the time that they saw it, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but the custom
Okay.
the custom code rewards is an awesome idea, and I really hope that you all do something like that. So we got a glimpse into what we can expect during this event, and so according to her, then the content creators are going to possibly get some gift codes to give away to their followers for this event. So I'm excited for that. And the previous one, I believe we've already submitted these, right? So Taylor, correct me if I'm wrong. We already submitted what we wanted to use for the keyword for the code. I believe we did. But it was last event, and then it turned out that it was going to be pushed to the next event at the time, which happens to be this one. So
Yep.
so we know that those are out there. And at that same time, they also inquired about what to give in those gift codes. And everybody and their mother, as far as content creators, probably sent her messages about that. I know I sent a huge list. Supers may or may not have been in that conversation, but that's funny that Latara would say that. But no, yeah, we'll wait and see as to what we get out of that. And what's funny is I brought up the host concern like we had last year about them not knowing what certain ships were. So I think this time around they may prepare them a little bit better for the anniversary live stream again. So
I don't know why they wouldn't use their senior content creator pool to do that, though.
I don't know.
Or at least ask.
In,
like what's
in previous years they had obviously they have some sort of little stage or studio, and then in the first year they had Joseph, and who else was there? Taylor Fox, and another game design. I cannot remember the name. But then afterwards they hired professional, I guess you call them actors or hosts or whatever that they would be called, and they're going to be doing that again this year
for the parade,
for the live stream. Yeah.
Oh my god, amazing! Yeah, last year was awesome.
Here comes Megatron. Oh, look at that great Moros.
Right. Yeah. So I made it. At least I brought it up, right, and she acknowledged that they'll better prepare the hosts for that type of stuff. So yeah. Exciting. So that was just talking about the 3rd anniversary. Then in the next topic, I guess I'd asked her what her favorite things were or the expectations for Eve Echoes in the next year. As a game for Eve Echoes or the community, what's your favorite thing about Eve Echoes?
Oh, for everything, well, that could be a lot of things to say. Since I have talked about the gameplay before, this time I will talk about the community. And from my personal perspective, our community is quite an open community, I'd say. In our community, everyone can just share his own comments or his own ideas with other players, and we have our players together, and and that means we have different voice from different cultures, and that really helps me to think of a lot of things from different angles, and I get a chance to learn more about the gameplay, also learn about the cultures from different players. And I think a good community should be a community that can try to pass some game information or promote the game to the players, and at the same time we should collect some players' opinions and try to convey players' opinion to our team, and finally, try to develop and optimize the game. And I think our community do that. Yes. This is our community is I would say it's kind of mutually beneficial community, I would say. And I really, really enjoy being with you guys in the community.
Yeah, and that's great to hear because, one of the things that sold me on this game, I originally downloaded it, played it because I like outer space. I like planets and I like spaceships and stuff like that. The sci-fi aspect of it. But it was, it was pretty tough for me in the beginning, but it wasn't until I joined a corporation. I joined a community of other players, like-minded players and all that. And ultimately, I stuck with those same players all the way up to today even. And actually, I've expanded the community, with the show and my corporation and the alliances that I've been in. And, that's really what keeps me in the game on a day-to-day basis. The game is great. It looks great. It's awesome to play on the phone or tablet. I love the game, but also, the community keeps me, motivated to play even, try different things or, do podcasts or, stuff like that. Like I like to make Eve Echoes songs, and the community kind of pushes, or not pushes, but motivates that. And so I just keep creating content, and then I do it for the community, of course. So it's a revolving circle, You take some, you get some.
It's kind of moving to hear you share your motivation for being as a content creator, and your opinion towards our game and our community. Yes, quite thankful for you for that.
Yeah, thank you. And so with the 3rd anniversary, we're going into year 4. A lot of people, actually in year 3, if I really think about it, year 3, we had a lot of content added into the game. Like, seriously, a lot. I almost every week, at least once or couple times a month, me and Taylor were saying, oh, look, they added this to the game, or they fixed this issue, or did this, or they're adding T4 citadels, et cetera, et cetera. There's been so much content released in year 3. There, it's really hard to keep up as far as like all the stuff that's in the game. But going into year 4, is there what kind of content could we look forward to in year 4?
Okay, moving in the new year for the game, there's no doubt that the new content and new systems for our games. But I'm not in the development teams who can design the gameplay, so I will not try to make some promise to you about what new content will be in the next years. But I was sure that we will try to optimize the game system, like just launch some new star system to you guys, like the Cobalt Edge that we have recently announced. Also, we will try to bring some new events in the game, like bring some new encounters or some new ships. I guess, but I'll say that in the next year we still got a lot of things to expect, and so please stay tuned. Yeah.
That's great to hear. This is a huge game, and with all the stuff that the dev team is putting into this game, it's crazy. And the community is just saying more ships, more systems, more.
Yeah, I got your point.
So it's great that the dev team is taking that into consideration and adding the things that the community wants. So I enjoy the growing game. I like the new content. Every time an update happens, I'm excited that, what kind of new features are we going to see, or anything new, right? So like when the Corp Tech Tree released, as well as the T or the Citadel 1s or T4s. You know, that's just so fascinating because it was stuff like that I've been requesting for like a long time. You know, give us more Citadel energy points and give us other ways to benefit corporation members. Because as a CEO, you know, a lot of stuff, you know, we look at stuff like that, right? As the everyday member doesn't, you know. So when I see the updates and I look in especially the large content updates, I'm really excited. I really try making the followers, you know, excited about it and happy. You know, we give them information that we can give them, get them hyped up a little bit, at least notified, hey, this is what's coming into the game, you know, that type of stuff. So the expectations for the next year, what do you think they are? Do you think they're pretty high? You think the players are going to ask a lot from the devs this year?
I'm not sure about it, but it all depends on the community's reaction to the recent update. Yeah. So I don't know how to summarize players' reactions to the new stuff, but all I want to say is just stay tuned. We will try our best to bring some new stuff to the game. Yeah.
So you heard it there. We got a bunch of stuff being added into the game for this next year, going into year 4. I did kind of probe as to what we would be looking forward to, though she didn't say anything specific other than we're going to be seeing some more star systems and possibly more ships. And with the release of Cobalt Edge, we're already seeing, you know, that stuff getting implemented and rolled out into updates for upcoming content. Because, of course, you look at the map, it's obvious there's other regions that are currently unsettled or just you're not able to get to them yet. But, you know, I think what she said there in that last clip was they're gonna gather the feedback and whatnot out of this and kind of gather reactions as to this content update to maybe make changes for the next one as well. So player expectations are quite high, I would say, as to, you know, new content coming out of NetEase for this game. So that's what they have looking forward. Yeah, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. No, I'm here.
All right, yeah, just no comments. All right, we can go to the next topic. I had asked her about upcoming events as to what we can see in the future, in the near future here. Let's hear what she has to say. And so, you know, in past events too, I believe Cloud did it, you know, with the Discord moderator. I believe you were there as well with one of the later AMA events that we had with the dev team.
Yeah.
You know, will we be expecting to see any more of those throughout the next year?
Oh, yeah. You know, it has been around like 4 months since the previous, NS event. The previous one is called Dev Talk and it's a live talking. Yeah. And a lot of players are quite satisfied and with the previous Dev Talk event. So we do think about holding a new Dev Talk event recently. But we have not settled down the topics. So if you guys have any ideas for the topics that you want our dev team to talk about, you can just leave your messages to me or to Rambles, and we'll think about your ideas. And this time, I'm also thinking about getting more staff to join and also get some content creators to our live streaming if it is possible. And so, yeah, so let's turn to the coming MA event in the coming days. Probably I will make it on next month or by the end of this year. Yeah, we're trying to do it as soon as possible.
Yeah, and that's great. I think a lot of people enjoyed the last few, and I remember covering the last one especially on the podcast. And so, if I could be there live, I would do it. But if I'm not there live, then of course I'll listen back to it and hear what the dev team has to say and stuff. It's just really great to be able to communicate with the dev team and hear what they have to say. So, yeah, with that, she had hinted that they have some more dev talks coming up in the near future, so a month or so away. And I'm pretty sure in that clip, she did say that they are gathering information as to topics to talk about, so you can actually DM her about that. But I think she also said that you could send me your suggestions for what they could talk about. Even though I know nothing about it, so I'm like, what? Wait, don't send them to me. Well, you can if you wanted to, but for the next dev talks, you can send her information as to stuff to talk about or questions or whatever to answer. So good deal. Yeah, that was just that about upcoming events. Any comments or anything there, Taylor or OC?
No, I am looking forward to when we do the next AMA thing again. That was really a lot of fun. It feels like it was a lot longer back than 4 months, but I do remember that Kelpic or whatever, who put that on the last time around, was talking about trying to do that every quarter. So we're due. And that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was good for your everyday pilot, everyday player of this game to be able to actually have, audio-wise anyway, a good listen to what Cloud specifically, who I look at as the main developer of the game, honestly, depending upon what direction he's getting pushed. But I mean, that's our main one we hear from the most, who I feel like has the best grasp of what the game should be. So
yeah,
I think he's also just like his EO experience as well, right? Because he was he was Wormhole, then he was like an indie leader for a while. I mean, those things could use some love, but
yeah.
Also, I think even if it doesn't even have to be quarterly, but them doing regular AMAs, I think is going to be a better value to the community. Yeah, I just think in terms of man hours, it's a better value than the Q&As, because the Q&As have two problems. One, they're surface, and they have to be almost because they're weekly, so it's hard to dive deep. And two, in terms of intake, it's not that the suggestion channel doesn't matter, but it's not the primary intake, right? Versus like the AMA stuff, I mean, that usually covers stuff well beyond a week, right? You're talking sometimes 6-9 months down the road. And then more importantly, I don't just want a description of what's coming. I think it's helpful to understand their rationale as well, right? Like I've given a few examples, prior in the show, but if you have something and it's not quite where you want it, it really does matter when you know why, right? So it's like, I use corp missions as an example. I might want more complex things, but if they're looking at it from a perspective of, okay, well, this takes money to put that in, and if people already feel it's too complicated or it's not used enough, that's not a good value for our time right now. I would like to hear that. And I think the AMAs are really the way to go about doing that. The Q&A stuff, not so much.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and with the AMAs too, they actually engage with the community that are attending, right? So they open up a channel, they have people talk in it, then they lock it, then they answer some questions, and then they open it up again, stuff like that. That proves, that they're willing to answer some questions that maybe the update before broke, right? And they acknowledge it, or they have plans to fix it, or whatever they have to say. So that further goes, more in depth than your normal Q&A and all that. So yeah, so that's great to see. And they want to do some more with content creators, as she noted as well. So, whether it be I or Taylor or Benzie or Damon, Rip, they want to be able to do some more of that stuff with some of the content creators. So, yeah. It's just a wait and see. Yeah, I guess it's just a wait and see. All right. And then another thing that has been a concern about the community, or not necessarily about the community, but from the community, has been advertising for this game. So I actually asked Carrey about upcoming advertising. Check this out. With one thing that the community's been asking for quite a while was whether or not NetEase will advertise the game more to bring in new players. Is there any sort of plan for that?
Sure. Since I'm in the marketing teams, I'm also responsible for the game promotion. And according to our plan, besides some online promotion, such as the advertisings on some social media platforms, we are trying to do some offline, bring our game to some offline exhibitions, I would say. For instance, the game will be shown at some exhibitions offline. Like we will join the PAX exhibitions in Australia in September this year, and we also trying to cooperate with some other institutions like some college or some museums to make some promotions, but they are all under our plans, and we will make the official announcement when everything is done. Yeah.
Wow, that's great to hear. That's totally awesome. And you said the one was in Australia. If there's any events in America, even more specific in my area, I'd love to go to it. I'd love to do something.
Sure. Yeah. We recently we just trying to reaching out to some museums in America. We do think about setting up some events in those museums, trying to attract some players or some visitors. They are not playing our game now. We just want to attract some new players to our game. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been tempted just to set up a booth in front of a store and just say, "Hey, my corporation is recruiting. Here's this game. Try this game out. It's cool. And maybe I can turn you into a miner or a PvP or something, right?"
That is exactly the kind of promotion that we want to do in the future. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome to hear. I'm glad that the team is working on promoting this beautiful game some more. Yeah, so we have some upcoming events as far as offline content goes. And in case people didn't remember from last year, they had offline content in the form of they had a list of bars that you can go to. You show the bartender your game info and they would give you a free beer at select bars. Do you remember that, Taylor?
I do. I don't remember it being like a huge thing that got a ton of traffic.
No, but I don't know anybody that actually claimed it. I know there's a lot of bars like in New York City area. I think it was New York City, I believe. And so with them talking about promotions, they were saying that they have an upcoming event in Australia. So of course, when all that info gets finalized, then they'll release that. So that'll be cool. And then, I inquired about something, if they were to do stuff in the Americas. So Las Vegas is one area that I would go to. It's relatively close to me. And generally, a lot of events are held there. Of course, the notorious EVE Online gatherings sometimes happen over in Las Vegas area as well. But, that's something that I would go to, probably, or set up a booth, or be, hey, I'm a content creator for this game. Here, check out this or whatever.
Sure.
And talk about it and the experiences so far.
It'd be cool to host a show from there too.
Oh, it'd be so great. If we could do that, that'd be freaking great.
Just walk up and ambush people. Hey man, what coalition are you from? Do they suck at CTAs?
Yeah.
What's your doctrine? Blink twice.
Did they show
everybody?
up?
This corner over here is a bunch of Pravi guys. Let's go dunk on them.
Right.
Oh, you won't know who the Pravi guys are. We're gonna all just say that we're Terran Federation or something the whole time.
Yeah. What alliance are you in? TSC?
Oh, we can tell those guys are from Void. They all have the same shirt on.
Well, Man, the voice shots tonight, dude.
Wow.
Jesus, dude.
But yeah, that's interesting. And she said museum a number of times during that. I'm not sure if she means like an actual museum is what we would think of as a museum.
No.
So
No.
I'm not sure what.
I can't imagine that. I mean,
one of your users mentioned Museum Arcana in the chat. That was I'm premium, which maybe that's what she's talking about, or.
I'm not sure. She did say about possibly promoting at colleges. So that's another kind of
Does she mean the dots game? You know what I mean? Because that's like when you're going through like the AI models and you're trying to help with machine learning and train them to recognize patterns. Could that be it? Because I know there's tons of opportunities for things like that, like with folding a home.
All we know is they're working on it, and that's better than nothing, if you ask me. So. I joked about putting a booth up in front of a store one day, but I also left out. I was tempted just to buy a billboard for a number of months and promote the game that way as well, because I do live next to a major interstate, and that would get a lot of views. Though I haven't coughed up the money to do something like that. So, anywho. We're just about done with the interview with Carrey, and with this next, it's really just the closing topics that I had with her and her enjoyment with attending the interview so far. So here. Do you have any closing thoughts or anything you'd like to share about content creators or the community or the game?
Okay. First, I want to say I really appreciate all the creation you have done, all the hard work from our content creator team. Although some members have left the game, or someone just stopped producing some videos or tutors for some reasons, no matter for the game, for the personal reasons, I still feel really grateful for all the hard work you have done for our game. And I'm really glad to see that all of you still play the game and make some brilliant creations for us. And thanks for this opportunity for me. I'm always thinking about setting up or doing my own podcast, and this time you really give me a chance to have a wonderful experience for being the guest in a podcast, and I learned a lot from you guys. No matter for the opinions about games or the community constructions, but also some other stuff. So I'm really, really thankful for invite for this time. Yeah.
That's awesome to hear, and I very much appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So for the listeners, do you have anything that you'd like to share with them that would be exclusive to listening to this episode of the podcast?
I would say so. Maybe we could talk about the new content in August. As you can see in our communities, we have posted several messages about the Cobalt Edges. I know some of you guys may have read the articles about the new content, the Cobalt Edge in English. The Chinese servers have published several details about it on their own social media platforms. But for the global server, we choose to try to convey this information to you guys in a more clear way. Like we just post some infographic, which is in the form of the exploration log. Yeah, we make it as the exploration log to convey some details about the Cobalt Edge. So we just don't want. Some players may say that we just, sometimes we will share some information later than the Chinese servers, but I'd say that we have our own promotion plan, and we try to make the thing of the game more vivid and more interesting, more attractive to you guys. So don't worry, we will not miss out any information with you. We will try to think about how to convey the information to you in a more interesting way. So we may make some video, we make some new poster for it. Yeah.
That's great to hear. Yes, so that is going to conclude it for our meeting, Carrie. It was very nice talking with you today. And, happy birthday, Eve Echoes. And we'll see you at the parade.
Yeah, happy birthday to Eve Echoes. Yeah. And nice talk with you guys. Yeah.
And that was it. That was a good conversation I had with her. And, yeah. Hope to have some more conversations with her. It's quite nice not having to be afraid of what to not talk about, I guess you could say. She didn't seem like that at all.
No,
so,
not at all.
I think you did a good job not pressuring her as well, though, right? I mean, you allowed her quite a bit of room, which I think is really great, especially given it was the first time.
Yeah, especially that. And prior, when we were actually discussing about the interview, she had admitted that she doesn't know the logistics of every game aspect. She can't just answer every freaking Joe Schmo question.
Share. You know what I mean? Even if she knows the mechanics, knowing exactly the share status of each thing in advance, that's unrealistic.
Yeah, but it's not like I can ask her because I already know the answer. Hey, right. what are we going to see for the Christmas event? Are we going to get new ships? Like, she's not going to be able to answer that because, of course, she's under NDA.
No.
I'm not even going to bother asking that question because I know she's under NDA and I don't want her being uncomfortable, having to sway away from that conversation because she can't say anything. So I think overall, with the first meeting with her went very well, and I mean she enjoyed it as well. So thank you, Carrie, if you're listening, and I hope the audience as well, liked that conversation with her. So message her, say, hey, that was a good time, and we hope to hear you again in some time in the future. So maybe the next time we will get more info, about current events or whatever else is happening back then at the time. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, you can speak now or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, I am done. That is all I got for the episode this evening.
I think that was enough. It's a pretty long show, even though I was only here for half of it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I did see more people was missing the beginning of the show as well as the YouTube stream. Taylor did come in late, so we didn't have the YouTube stream going. Those that are listening to the podcast and want to watch the stream, I can upload the video. It's going to take me a day or two to make the video and upload it and all that crap. So it's live on YouTube. So that'll be in a day or two. All right. I'll get that hooked up for the YouTube subscribers. But with that, I'm going to lean it over to Taylor to do our content creator shout out, and we will close it out.
Oh, man. I'm going to get canceled again by someone's followers getting all pissed off at something I say. But no.
Grab your pitchforks and torches.
So many content creators out there for this game. Go and watch them. Go and like and subscribe. All the PvP content. Yes, that includes Betimmune as well. And of course, the always ever present, fun loving Achieved. Go follow his stuff as well. Unsubscribe from Benzie. Cancel him and stop watching his Q&A videos, which is all he does on Fridays. But for everybody else, keep doing your stuff. I'm still waiting on Muffin to post his first one. Muffin's going to have some excellent stuff. Go watch Heron and Blink Fleet. If you want to get a really good idea of how to counter things, go watch the guys who are figuring it out in PvP every single day. Those are the guys you want to go and watch. So that's all I got for right now.
Yeah. And I'll give a shout out to Damon Zell. He was here for a little bit as well. And
of course,
we always expect his late
Laura's
news.
Here.
And then, we had Latara in the audience with us, as well as a few others. And Hale as well. I want to get Hale into the content creator program.
yeah.
So, but his application's
Me too.
been getting denied, I guess. So he's also covering
Yeah, he
news
does a great job.
and like breaking news type topics and stuff he's covering. So, you know, shout out to him and the others that are making content out there. Of course, support your local content creator. And as always, fly safe out there. We shall see you next week. Thanks, Taylor, and thanks OC for joining us tonight, as well as the audience. Thank you for joining us on this special birthday episode. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.